Roger MJ, the hero of our nation, for his adventures just be shown to this nation. Roger MJ, hero of our nation. Oh. Hello! Right, just let me get my screen right. Here we go. Let's come out a little bit. There we go. That's a bit better. I might even get my chair. Yay, good evening. Nicola's awaiting more inspiration on her favourite die set. What we got? We've got our lovely Anne Mountjoy. We've got lots of people watching. Hello, Samantha. Hello, Heather, Leslie, Michael Cooley. Yes, I'm all good. Dawn, Emma again. Elaine, Craftaholic, Jan Flat. Good evening. And we've got people watching over on YouTube as well. Hello again tonight, says our Jude. I love this. So, what are we doing? Well, I did say I would play with more of the haberdashery. And I did this for our Sarah Jane. I think, hello, Hazel. Are you cold and very windy in Menorca? Ooh. You've gone back over to Menorca. Beautiful place. But yet, this time of year, not the best. Excuse me, just getting a drink. I know that I can't remember when I lived in Spain, as a lot of you will know, I lived in Spain for a few years. Ooh, a long time ago. I can only actually remember one Christmas when it wasn't sort of cold and rainy and horrible. Everyone thinks, oh, son, living in Spain, it's really warm, but it's not. So Emma said she's interested to see what you're going to do with the book. I love these. So remember, it is Craft Cave Live. Welcome. Hello. Hello. Sorry, I've got a little tufty going on, haven't I, tonight? Hello. Let's go to overhead. That'll be easier. I love the haberdashery, and I've got so many bits left from the demo and things. And when I was doing it, I thought, I love these books. And this is something I saw first from Prima. And these were, and I'm not going to lie, these were $14.99. So we sourced them our own craft artist ones because I absolutely, if you love playing with your dies, and I'm not, because this is Craft Cave, so obviously I'm not trying to, I'm not doing, it's not about flogging these, it's explaining. Michael says, why did I move to the UK? Michael, two reasons. Number one, for this job. And number two, because I'm not a drinker, Michael. And to be honest, a lot of what Spain is about alcohol and drinking. And since I don't drink, there's not a lot to do out there. A lot of people out there just drink. It's literally, or go out all the time. And I was working. It's just not me. I did 6 years. It's a long time. But I love the books, and they're so expensive. But if you're a die cutter or a crafter or a stamper or something like that, then there's only so many cards you can make, and there's only so long you can do it. And when you take on something like this that's a project, you can do something really fab. I know our Julie was looking at doing some of these to do on her stalls, because she's really mad doing it at the minute. But they're even being done with things like, there's a space between each bit. Can you see? So you can use foam tape and you can build pages. And I'm not a scrapbooker. So, I'm not somebody who's going to scrapbook my memories. I've always meant to. I bring things back when we're off holiday and say, oh, I might do some, I can't think of the right word. I might do some scrapbooking. I never do. But I like filling up with everything. Samantha says, question for the Zoom workshop Saturday. It's the Hawthorne embossing folder and Verdant ink pad. Can you please show me the folder and what else you can use, as I don't have an ink pad? You want something that's a light green, and I don't have the folder out. So it's, you just grab something with it. It doesn't matter. Oh, I do have the folder actually embossed. I have a piece here ready for Saturday for the be fabbed if you're joining us. It's a really good, the workshop, the Zoom class is really good. I'm not a scrapbooker, Emma. Emma's just said she's not a scrapbooker, and I'm not at all. But this is something to do and craft to enjoy. So that's the folder, Emma, and you want the dragon fruit, and you want something like Verdant, a light green. This is Verdant, if I find it. Where are we? I've probably put it away. I've gone and put it away in the box, haven't I? So you want something sort of like light greenish, that's all. Yeah? So, but this is really fab to do, and it's a great thing to do. Debbie Smith says, I love making memory books. I've made memory books for my nieces when they turn 30. They love them. They start from their early years right up to present day. You know, a great thing to do, but a lot of people don't want to do the construction. That's why having a pre-done magnetic, because it closes on a magnet, will really work. Yeah? So that's what I thought I'd do. And I thought all of these bits that I've got left over from doing the haberdashery would work, and I made sure as well that they would fit. So, and I've got bits everywhere, literally, but you see every bit kind of fits and fits somewhere, and suddenly you can bring it really, really to life. So I thought what we'd do is we'd work on the sort of first bit. So this is a bit I'd already done, and I've used the outside from the postage squares. So we're going to start with that, and I'm going to grab myself a piece of the lightest brown card from our canvas card pack. Yeah, right, Michael, obviously you missed it earlier. I'm bringing nothing out on Sunday. There's no live on Sunday. We are doing a Black Friday event on Friday instead. So there is nothing coming out on Sunday. The last new release of the year, or the last new release before Christmas, because I think there's a new release on Boxing Day, because I've always done that. Leslie said she might pick up a couple of these on Saturday. Leslie, honestly, if you want to sit and do your flowers and you can do everything with them. They're just fabulous. So let's just cut these. I should never sit down really, should I? I'm terrible for doing that. Just gets a bit tiring after it all day. So yeah, there's nothing new on Sunday. And we're launching one brand new die, just for one, on Hobbycraft on Monday. So on Monday I've got 2 shows, and I'm launching one brand new die, that's it. And that's Monday. But nothing in between, but nothing after that. So Emma says, I'm going to be out of action for 6 months when I have my bunion done. This is a good idea. This is a brilliant way to craft without making lots of cards or wasting things. Yeah, the scrapbooks are in stock, but wait until Black Friday. I hope our Jane and Peter aren't watching. Please don't be. And if you are, don't be mad. Do not, I repeat, do not buy any of these scrapbooks until I go live on Friday at 6. That's all I'm saying. So wait, but get them then, because you'll get 2 for literally probably like £1 more than one will cost you today. So wait, honestly, sorry, Jane, but get a stock of them. I have a whole shelf of them, literally. I have a whole stock of them, because this is something I can craft, and I'm going to sit and craft over Christmas. So I won't finish this tonight at all, but I'll show you the basics of what we can do. So Monday, I don't know what time, and they don't give I think it's 8:30 and 1:30 or something. because they've changed the time, because don't forget we're going live on Sky on Monday. It's the first day they're live on Sky, so they're extending their hours out to like 4:30. Nicola says, I have so many albums I started when my girls were little. Documents their life through the years. They make beautiful keepsakes. The girls love looking back at them. And they made many of their own ones over the years. It's a great idea if you're into that. But I know I'm not. I'll have 4 of them then, John. Thank you, says Leslie. Oh, no, Christine. Oh, I'm gutted I'm not going to get to see you on Saturday. Oh, bless. So, anyway, let's get on with this. So, yeah. But, yeah, I don't know what time because it's extended. But don't forget, it's going to be the first day on Sky. So, it's going to be on Sky channel 673. Now, hopefully you all saw this. I made one of the dies into... So, we're going to keep this piece. Yeah. Hi, John. I've got the square die. What's the code for the rectangle for this one? Nicola, could you find out what the code is for the rectangular postage frame for me, please? Sorry, because I'd have to look on my computer and I'm using it. So I've used, so this is from the haberdashery sewing set. If you're meaning the square that come for the swatches, that is the haberdashery swatches 570. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is, so what I've done is I use this die here, yeah, and I've cut it out of funky foam, and then I've mounted it onto a stamp block. And so I'm just going to ink with VersaFine Vintage Sepia. But you can make all these little panels and stamp them, and they'll go in here, you know, bits you couldn't and wouldn't use on cards. So I'm just kind of stamping one edge, yeah, like that, but keeping that image on there. I'm then going to take, and I've done this, I did the sewing machine, so we did this on Sunday, yeah. No, Black Friday is this Friday. It's the day after Thanksgiving, which is tomorrow. Thanksgiving is tomorrow if you're American. So you'll have to tune in, Michael. You'll have to tune in to see. Although they will go live. They do go, look at that. How good that shadow works. It's like a shadow stamp, that one. Love that one. And then I've got one here of the pincushion as well. Yeah, use your funky foam, make stamps. I did it on a show on Create and Craft years ago, and then I saw loads of people doing it. I'm sure I wasn't the first to do it, but I had come up with it in my own idea. The swatches would be good for patchwork of backgrounds, but I've scraps of paper. Absolutely perfect. That's one of the pages we're going to do. So let me just grab a drink. So what I'm going to do now is just sort of mucky the edge. This is why I love our canvas card, because it's got a texture to it. Can you see? There we go. The texture shows up when you ink, so mucking it up really, really works. So let's say you did want a scrapbook. Leslie said this would be good for a sewer, as you could make pockets and put patterns in and bits is, I don't know if you could hear that. That was the phone ringing. That was our Sammy ringing me, who's away working in Glasgow and has obviously forgotten that I'm live on every Wednesday at 7 o'clock, which I think is a little bit crazy. So these dies are still available and still exclusive if anyone wants them. Can you see already? That works. How simple is that? Just the first panel, and of course that one goes on. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do on that one in a minute. But so there's a first panel we can go on there, so we can stick that on, because you don't want to have anything too big or sticky out on your front. Yeah, so we're just going to get that nice and even on there. And it fits almost as if the dies were designed to fit them. But then look. Okay, so we've got that there. So I've got another one. Sammy says, I forgot it was Wednesday. Are you watching, Monkey? I've just told everybody what you're doing. Bless him. Yeah, our Sammy forgot it was Wednesday. I'm not surprised, babe. You are away working so hard. So I can measure something to go there, or I can go for something else completely different. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for, and I've got to find the piece here. So what I'd actually already done was I'd already made a little piece up here in white. Sammy Wild in Glasgow, great food outlets there and shopping. So I've done exactly the same as I'd done before, but I've done this, and I'll give you the measurements on this. It's roughly 2 inches by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 inches by 5 inches, and I've matted it on a bit of silver. But what I want to do is I've got a little bit here of, this is literally out of my drawer. So it's a little bit of leftover lace. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this on. And your best thing to do with things like lace and ribbon is to use your craft artist glue, your normal glue. So I'm just putting little bits, because it needs to be quite strong. Oh, Samantha says that's because Sammy forgot it was Wednesday because he's not here keeping me in check. Yeah, no, bless him. So I'm just putting a few little bits of wet glue onto here. Let's move it down a little bit. There we go. And then I'm just going to pass those round. So I'm kind of pulling it tight, passing it onto the other side. Because what I'm going to do is, I'm now going to use some power tape just to get that nicely stuck down. So let's use a little bit of power tape. Power tape will grab it for now. So let's take that. There we go. Let's take our thing off. No sneak. I might give you a quick sneak peek at the end, Michael. Where's my poke-it? Honestly, I'd lose everything, me. So the glue's going to take a while on ribbon to go off. So that's why we're going with power tape, to hold it in place until it has gone off. So I'm going to pull that nice and tight to make sure I'm happy. Stick it round. There we go. Okay. And obviously I want to sort of fill that in. Well, I've got a spare piece, haven't I? So I've got a spare piece that I could fit there or fit to there. So what I'm going to do is do the same again, wet glue. So I've done exactly the same. So I'm almost creating now my basis. I'm just going to pop that in. So that will then cover that piece there. I can open it out. Take my scissors and cut that off. And remember to, let's grab a new one because I've dropped mine on the floor. Here we go. And just, again, age that up. And I'm aging the whole thing up just with vintage sepia. But there we go. So there, I've already started creating and sort of creating and crafting, I was going to say then. So I just want to age that a little bit more. So this time I've planted it on white and done a bit of silver. It's very cold in Glasgow. Yeah, it's very cold in Glasgow. How's Ruth? Are you in Glasgow? Our Sammy's there. So you see there. Then our piece goes on. So we're kind of almost echoing it, and I could go underneath. I actually like it on top, to be honest. Actually, no, I'm going to go underneath. Yep. So now what we want to try and do is now start to try and bring some of those pieces in. So here I've got the actual piece there that we've used cut. Yeah. So again, I'm just going to age it all up a little bit. And glue glaze this to stick it on. Oh, I think I'm going to need a new one. I might have to treat myself to a new one. Oh, and I've lost so many pieces. Oh dear. There's a little pair of gold scissors I've done already. That's better. Zena lost my pocket tool. I'm wondering what pocket tool is. You mean pokey tool? That makes far more sense. So just going to put I think it's time, unfortunately. We lean back and open a new one. Oh, Chris says my voice keeps cutting out. Sorry. It seems to be working okay. But I can tell it's getting near Christmas because we're a lot lower than normal. Or maybe people are getting bored with me. We always go down nearer Christmas. What we will be doing is, I will be doing Craft Cave Live next week. Let me just check the calendar. We will put it out, but... so what are we on? We're on the 26th. So I will be doing next Wednesday the 3rd. Then I think we're doing then I'll be doing Wednesday the 10th and Wednesday the 17th. So we've got 3 more craft caves before Christmas. We're going to, you know, we are genuinely going to keep them going. I've lost all of the pieces that I had. So this is why dies are so useful, so we can cut more. So here's the little sewing tag that I was going to put on. But I think that might be, is that a bit too dark? I don't know. I quite like that. So we're going to put that one on. No, Michael, I'm not. I'm not a reality TV interested person. Michael's saying, am I watching The Jungle? No. Sorry, no. Reality TV doesn't do a great deal for me. I thought that was the new one I just opened. I put it in the wrong one. So I'm not sure. Actually, I'm going to do is I'm going to put that sewing, yeah, there. So let's grab a little bit of spray glue, because I don't like it. I'm going to put it. No, I'm going to go there, I think. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to go for that there. So, I've got all these pieces I'd cut. So I've got a little bit here of silver foil. I'm going to make myself a sewing machine. So a little bit of silver foil here. Or mirror card. I'm just going to cut that. So I don't plan these. I plan until I'm bored of playing. So I play until I think, oh yeah, that's got enough. I like that. So I'm like, okay. Oh yeah, I love having a little sewing machine. So I'm going to put a sewing machine on, and I'm going to put a solid mannequin on as well. But I don't like the fact that I've got that. So let's grab a bit of brown and do the base. This is getting messy, guys, and this is not how I planned it. I thought I'd got a lot of bits cut in this box, but it's not working the right way. There we go. Come on, YouTube. It didn't want to come up. Let me carry on watching. Yeah, so here we go. So I'm just going to trim this down, the base, and again I'm going to darken it a little bit. I haven't seen that. Is it any good? I meant to ask Jane because I know she'd watched it, but I've not seen it. I haven't spoken to Sarah in so long. Here we go. So let's just put that on. So there's our little sewing machine. I knew there was a bit in there shouldn't be. There we go. Let's take him out. Where's the new one I've just opened? Is that it? Yes. Honestly. Sorry, I'm not even talking. I get joke. They made baubles with plain flour and painted them. Ooh. How's that done? It's ITV, I heard that one. So I'm going to then... I don't know if I think that's right for there. No, that's going to be right for another one. So what I'm going to do is I want to add a couple of colour swatches on, just to bring some colour into this. So I've got here, using the swatch dies, cut some colours, and I want them to kind of poke through. So I've used three colours from the lilacs. Debbie's just been making some. You've been making some stamps with the pieces. So yeah, I like that. That's going to spoil that. So let's take that off, and let's have that one there. So you can see we're really sort of starting to build a really nice different front cover, one that works. That doesn't work. So I'm going to take that out. And I'm going to put a little bit, no, I don't like that either. That, I'm not sure. So you need to keep playing until you're happy with the bits you've got or how they're working. I'm going to add a mannequin into there because I think that's what will work on that bit. So I'm just cutting out a mannequin. Just a normal bauble, painted it with vinyl paint, then sprinkled plain flour with a sieve to give it a flocked look. That's really good until the weevils get into the flour. I was always told never use flour in anything crafty because weevils sort of flower weevils will get into anything flowery. Because there used to be a recipe years ago of using flour, like a paste, like a texture paste. And we were always told never to use that. So I really do need to have a big. That's what Nicholas just said. Wonder if the weevils will think Christmas has come when they find it. Yeah, it's something I was always told never to do because of the sort of flower weevils. There we go. I'd love to know where all the other bits that I'd already got cut and done have gone to. There's a few there, so let's have a look. So we've basically started and we've made our front sort of almost our front covers. And I think, you know, it's so creative to do. I remember sticking wallpaper on with flower paste. I remember making flower glue and using with my nan and using it and using it to make papier-mâché and things like that. So we've started a front. Now I've got an inside cover and a front page to do. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the largest die from those because it fits perfectly. Yeah. So again, let's take a piece of card. I'll go a bit darker this time. So I'm going to go with a darker brown. So I'm sticking to the brown shades or the brown palettes to keep it all sort of quite crafty. But again, even there you can see it's nice on that inside. And, you know, because you've got dies, let's not be daft. We can cut as many pieces as we want. So I've been really careful because, oh gosh, I've got to use that. I've only got so many tickets and tags and things like that. You know, we can use as many as we want to. So there we go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this again just on there, just so we're keeping that inside cover working and looking different. And there's of course our perfect bit to start on there. Yeah. No, John, did I find Nicholas samples? Nope. I have not. I have not found Nicholas samples anywhere. After, I think the last show's on the 14th or the 17th. After that, I am going to strip the craft cave down and try and see where everything has gone. So, again, that fits exactly. So if you did want a scrapbook, but there's another front of a card. This is what I love about doing it. So if you're thinking, oh, with these, I wasn't sure who would be able to, you know, oh, I wasn't sure who I could send it to. You can have the fun playing with this set by doing things like this. So what I want is, again, I want a panel to go on this side. So I've grabbed some fabric. So I've grabbed myself some fabric. I'm going to take some of that off. This is a moth and dragonfly sort of print fabric. Don't know where this has come from. And again, I'm going to take that same die because it fits. And all I need to do when I'm cutting fabric is cut down onto a metal shim. Sam might have the samples in his cars. No, the weevils ate them. I'd love to. I'm so sorry, Nicola. Jane, everybody is aware that John is very annoyed and upset and cannot understand where these samples are. Jane and I were going through it on a video call yesterday, and she's like, but they came twice, it was 2 different deliveries. I said, yeah. She said, where's the box? I said, I know where the box is. I said, I sent the box to that they came in. I recycled the box and sent it to Samantha Hughes with her prize in it. Now, not sure if this has all gone through. Oh, it's missed the last bit, honestly. Where the fabric was hanging out, where the machine refused it. So bear with me. So all I'm doing 2 layers as well, down onto there. Well, if you couldn't laugh about it, you'd cry. And if I was Nicola, I'd be very, very upset with me, quite honestly. You see what? I've got all these bits that I can, you know, we can add and build up. I don't really want to do it on this front cover. So here we go. So you can see your dies will cut your cotton fabric and 2 layers of it. Nicola says life's too short to stress. Thank gosh you took pictures of them, Nicola. That would have been a pain. If not, that would have been really upsetting. So they are on the reel that's out there in the video. Now normally fabric I'd glue with Craft Artist, but for speed I'm going to put down just, but can you see there? A way to actually use your fabrics that you've got. You know, fabrics that you wouldn't normally think of, fabrics that you think, oh, I wouldn't have that or whatever else. And then what I've got here is, this is some, here I've got, it's a tape measure ribbon. I got this from Crafts too. I don't think they have it anymore. I think I bought the whole stock that was left of it, knowing me. Nicola says I'd probably put it down and put stuff on top of them. That's not how anything works in here. Everything in here, to be fair, Emma, is boxed and labelled. So I must have put them in a box, and that box somehow has just gone out of here. But they're not in the office. They're not in the sample shed. Probably need to have all of those out as well. But it's amazing where you're right. It's amazing where things hide. So I'm just putting a little bit of the ribbon on by using power tape, going across that way, and then just trim it off. So you can try out with these, you can try out lots and lots of different almost card ideas or card front ideas, or things you think, oh, I love that, but I'd never use that. I'd never use it as a card. Well, have the fun making it. So here, you see, I'm just putting a little bit of scrap of it on. Yeah, because I've got this brilliant, I had this idea, and when I find it, there we go. So I'd cut out, going to be great to make matching card to what sewing gift I make for friends. Yeah, perfect. So what I've done here is I've cut out a mannequin. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to put it down, a little bit of low-tack tape. And then I'm going to use it as a stencil. Because again, I don't want anything on this layer too thick, because this is the opening of the book. So just colouring through. Like that, there we go. But again, so if I wanted to, I could then take swatches. So I've got a little pair of scissors here that I've done in silver and black. And I've got some swatches again in those same colours. So I've got a couple of swatches. And I'll find my glue. So this would be a great way, like you said, of using up old patterned papers or something. And then I've got a little square here of another colour. Using all of the dies, so using all the swatch sections. There we go, just like that. And again, you can journal in here. There's so much you can do with these sort of things. I thought just a fab idea. So let's grab our little scissors we've cut. But you can try out different layouts and things. But there I've got, you know, my brilliant thing. Now I want to find, where is this? There it is. That's in brown. Did I have a black one? Have I used it? No. So here we go. Yeah. So here I have some letters that are left from when I cut them earlier. Again, just stuck onto a bit of low tack tape in the black. So I'm just going to put some glue glaze on. So the scissors are from the sewing set. So here's the sewing. And I'm going to go on this edge here, press it down. Give each letter a really good press. Maybe I could do a photo book of all my crafty projects, loads of photos on my phone. To be honest, it's something I'm probably going to be doing on Friday, because what I used to do was this. Is it this one? There we go. I used to take a photo of all the demo cards I made to remind me of what I was looking for in the pack. So these all eventually, it was to remind me, and I was going to do it for everything, and then I got to a point where I forgot doing it. We stopped doing it. I made little stickers of everything I was making, every demo, and then I kind of stopped. But I want to use those to put into my scrapbook. So it's a great idea to do, Sarah Jane. So print them out on your computer. So you see there, we've already done. This doesn't need much more, but again, if I wanted to, you can. And I'm going to show you how we'd put a pocket in. Yeah. So how wide is the ribbon? Which ribbon? If you mean that ribbon, it's it's all in millimeters. 15 mil. It's all sold in millimeters. So what I'm going to do is, again, grab the same die. Where have I put him? No. Nope. Oh, honestly. Ah. So I was going to put a pocket on. Yeah, well, no, that's not going to happen because I can't find the die. And I put it down somewhere silly. So I'm going to do another page. So there we go. So this time I'm going to use this bit that's left over. Yeah, and I've got more depth. But I've also already cut with the swatches. I've cut myself a blue swatch in, and this is fabric. So, and again, you can use these dies to cut fabric as well as cut your pieces. So I thought that might make a really nice piece on this side. Does the book have pockets? No. You put the pockets on. I'll show you how to do a long pocket because I can't find the square die. I need the square die to do a square pocket, and I just don't know where I've put it. Everything's sort of getting thrown around. Is that it? There it is. No, that's the smaller one. But look how fab that looks. The stencil piece I made. So what I'm going to do is just take the VersaFine and make sure I do the same around. There we go. And again, because I'm gluing it to fabric, I'm using the Craft Artist Super Tacky. There we go. I'm not sure actually if I want that to be cover it now. No, I prefer that there, you're right. We've got another piece in there, and again, I could take some little bits. So this is a little bit of a rolled up. There we go. To match, and let's take another one. I've got another one of those somewhere. I'm going to put that one in a second. So we'll make a pocket to put that in. Oh, here we go. So again, perfect little tag. This time I can use a bit of foam tape if I want to, or a little bit of glue gel. Because it's not too deep. So let's put one of these on. So this is the second sample square I cut using the die. But because I've got depth, I mean already, look, I just love that. This is an idea. Yeah. So again, let's see. Let's get. Sometimes if I stop sitting down, I rarely sit down. I can actually find the piece that's missing that I've put down somewhere silly. Which I do. Yep, that's worked. So if I want to cut a pocket for this, yeah, so I will grab a piece of card and cut myself another square. So I've cut myself a square. And what I want to do is I want to cut this in half. So it's 5 1/2. So half of 5 1/2 is 2 3/4. There we go. Okay. So again, I'm just going to ink this up. Yeah. Okay, so we've just inked this up a little bit. I'll do this as the last bit because the time is running on, and quite a few people are sort of saying that they're not being able to find it properly. So what I've done is I put foam tape around 3 edges. Just like that. There we go. So I'm matching that to the edge of the font. So there I have a pocket, a sliding. Now that is a little bit long, so I can decide, okay, how long should it be? Right, I'm going to take those 2 off, but look, oops, no, I'm going to take another one off so it fits in. There we go, look. So there I have my little colour swatch guide, separate piece. Yeah, really easy. So there's my pocket there. So there's that page or set of pages done. And again, I can add something else onto there. I can decorate that. I could take these little swatches and again take some of the blue fabric. So let's take a couple of blue, we'll make a couple of blue squares and we'll make a grey coloured piece. Yeah. Onto the metal shim because we're cutting fabric and fabric needs the metal shim to finish it off. Oh, that's a little bit hard to tie on. There we go. Ooh. I really like this. But just shows you how creative you can be if you want to be, if you fancy. You know, you don't have to, you don't have to follow what I've done, but there's so much you can do that's not card making that you can enjoy, and you don't have to be a scrapbooker. But we've got, I mean, there's so many more pages for me to do. And what I can do, that obviously would go that way to create a pocket there. And we can slide pieces like that one in. I find scrapbooking stressful as I want too many pictures and then there's no room for the arty bit. That's why you make smaller books like this, Sina. You don't want too many pictures. You want to do the arty bits. Try making one of these without actually including any arty bit, without including any photos. Just make it all arty bits. You know, there's so many places and things that you can, you can add on. I could carry on. I've got like a piece here done. I've got a page ready here, look, of patchwork squares to do on. And we were going to do like a sewing machine and some scissors on it. There's so many bits you can do on this one. And it's just worth it that you can play with. But again, it all just closes and magnets. And it's not massive. So I think it's really good. This is a great way to get started. A great way. It really is a great way to get started on not scrapbooking, but doing something for yourself. That's not a gift, that's not a card, just doing something for the sheer heck of it. And I think this is a great idea. So if you're thinking about the scrapbooks, wait until Black Friday. Thank you for joining me tonight. If you joined me earlier for midweek deals, you got some amazing deals, like 75% off. I'll be back. There's no launch this week on Sunday. I'm back on Monday on Hobbycraft. I think it's 8:30 and 12:30, but it is on Sky, so you're going to be able to record it. It's channel 672, and you should be able to watch back as well because of that. But I will be back at 6 o'clock on Friday night to do a Black Friday special to launch our 48-hour Black Friday, and it's a really good one. It goes from midnight Thursday night which is sort of basically 1 a.m. Friday morning all the way through to Sunday at midnight. So it's only on for sort of like 72 hours, if that, 48 maybe, I can't remember. So it's only on for that time, and there's some half price and less deals on that. So if you can join me, then we'll put a schedule out telling you where you're going. I'll put some pictures of this out and what I did earlier and what we did earlier as well. Take care, guys, and I will see you soon. Bye.